Hello everybody. Welcome to ZanZanA live stream metal interview. I have the pleasure to have with me tonight Emilio Crespo. Hi, Emilio.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, fine. Thank you. Thank you for the interview. So tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, here it is, Perennial, the EP, the new EP, two titles. With this band, so Sojourner, and with new stuff on the band. It's a question that we can ask: why after 3 albums, one EP?
So yeah, I mean we are a full-length type band, but of course with lineup changes that we've had the past year or so, we just decided to, instead of putting up a boring Facebook post and just like say, oh, put on Facebook or Instagram, oh, here's our new members, and then you got to wait like a year, to listen to some new music from the band. That kind of happens a lot. So we didn't want to do that. We wanted to instead really make it special and present the members in the best way possible, which is, of course, if you're joining a band, then, to get to listen to music is the proper thing. So we decided to just do this quick EP as kind of like an introduction for the new members, but also to solidify that, Sojourner's still here. The core, since the very beginning of the band, has always been Mike and I. And, we're still here. So we want to show that we're still going strong and, yeah, present the new members in a proper way as well.
Yeah, Emilio, it's very difficult to work because, you're American, but you live in Sweden. Mike, I think, is in New Zealand. I think that you have 2 members from Italy, Lucia, Amelia Emanuele, and Riccardo Florida. Drums and vocals for Lucia and drums for Riccardo. I think Scotty Loge on bass. He's from Scotland.
Yeah, and then our new member Tom, he lives in England. So it's the thing is, of course, this band wouldn't have been able to exist 20, 25 years ago. Definitely not. But with the internet, everything becomes so much more possible. Not to mention, Mike is in New Zealand right now, but he's just waiting to get his visa approved to come back into Sweden, because Mike will be living in Sweden as well. But that's the thing, we're all still in Europe, so to write music is not an issue because there's file sharing, and like I said, Mike and I were the core, so it's like most everything is kind of done between the two of us, and then when it comes to live, we just all practice the songs on our own at home and everything, and then we'll get together a couple days before the show, hopefully get like a practice spot or something like that, or if not, just in like the hotel room kind of acoustically. So it's not the most, let's say, normal thing, but it definitely works for us, and so far it's been pretty, let's say, not simple, but it's been something that we're comfortable with. Like, we're okay with it, and we make it work very well.
Yeah, and the technology now for recording, it's very much easier than, like you say, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it wouldn't be possible to do all that we can make now.
Exactly. I mean, can you imagine like recording some stuff and then putting it on a cassette or a CD, sending it via mail, and then it's like waiting, hey, is this okay? And then it takes like a month just to get like maybe one riff in, So definitely things are a lot easier nowadays, for sure.
Yeah, just let's come back to the beginning for all Tunisian metal fans that maybe doesn't know you. How did you meet you and Mike? Because you are American living in Sweden. Mike is in New Zealand. How did it start?
So we actually had like a mutual friend from Canada, and so one day I was just chatting with him and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, check out this project," and it was Mike's doom metal project, Lysithia, And of course, I'm a big doom metal fan, so I checked it out and stuff, and I really liked it. And then, I just decided I'll shoot him a message, kind of, expressing support and, buy a CD, that kind of stuff. And we just started talking, and then after a few months, we became really, really cool. And then it was like, hey, let's do something together, A lot of people don't know this, but Sojourner actually started as a melodic doom band. But Mike wrote a couple like songs, couple demos, and we were like, yeah, nah, we're not really feeling this. So then we, went into the atmospheric metal direction that we are now. But but yeah, it was just through online, and then started the band, and then finally met each other like maybe 6 or 7 months after Empire's released. So yeah.
There's always the thing that we think that when we make band, we have to be close to each other's, one in front of the other, and make all the rehearsal to make the music and to develop the project. But you're from different continents.
Yeah, but it definitely works for us in that case because we've actually said this in the past, and I still think it to be true. We're kind of not antisocial writers, but we do like to be in our own headspace. Like when I'm recording vocals, I wouldn't like to have too many people around, or when I'm writing lyrics, I want to be alone. Even if we had the possibility, like we were all living in the same country, I still don't think we'd become that, rehearsal space band and jamming to write an album or something like that. Personally, I think that's boring. I've done that in the past, years ago, and I actually don't like that process. I prefer, everybody kind of write on their own and then we combine it all together. I think that's a lot better.
Yeah, and how does come the writing process of music and lyrics? Mike Lamps records, think about all the music, or suggest all the music, and after every one of you and the other band members give ideas and change, or how is it? Because yeah, there's distance even.
Yeah, I mean, so usually actually Mike is always writing. I mean, this guy really knows how to put in the hours. He's always writing and stuff. But when we actually tell each other we're officially starting, it's yeah, Mike basically has these skeleton ideas or whatever, and he'll pass them to me to see what I think, and then once I can't think of too many times that I've said, oh, I'm not really feeling this. Most of the time, already from the beginning, he blows me away with what he's writing, which inspires me to do the lyrics. So yeah, I'll tell him, dude, that's awesome, keep going, and then sure enough, maybe a little bit later, a week or two, sometimes maybe a bit more, a bit less, he'll have the full song, and then it's kind of like, okay, cool. And then it's just up to me to do vocals and lyrics and stuff. Because Mike doesn't just compose and write; he also produces, engineers, records, all that kind of stuff. On all the previous albums, pretty much everything you hear recorded is Mike, except drums and vocals and stuff. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple that way. I mean, of course, the other members will hear something, but they hear it more towards the final product, because, like I said, the core still falls on me and Mike and what we want Sojourner to be like. So yeah, in the studio, I would say that's kind of the main drive or process actually.
Yeah, and in the recording process, because you are, as I said, in different country, and even more now because you are two from Italy. That the other band members put their own, spice, change something, change line bass, change drum, or they had to record it as Mike think about it?
No, no, not at all, not at all. So when it comes to drums and bass, Mike just kind of has the outline of how tempo wise and basic beats or whatever. But then of course Ricardo, when he's in the studio, he puts his own touches on it, and he also does the outline of how he's going to do the drums, sends it to Mike, and then it's kind of like, okay, cool, go ahead. So they definitely have the freedom when it comes to their time to record. So Mike just does like the skeleton, so to speak. And then of course they do their own little things or whatever, change the bass line to something a bit more complicated or not. Or and then yeah, so they definitely put their own touches on it.
Okay, and after there's the lyrics. You write the lyrics with when the skeleton is 75%, 80% ready. So you put the melody and you write the lyrics. How is it?
Well, sometimes I actually I might feel inspired by something that Mike sent me. So sometimes I've actually just written three songs in a row, you know. But other times I've had to wait for the true final demo of the song to really get it kicking, you know. Because sometimes inspiration comes and then you write a lot, but sometimes you're chasing it for a month, like thinking, oh, when's it gonna come to me? When's it gonna come to me? And we, of course, we don't settle for anything less than what makes us happy. So I'm the first one that writes something and I just, oh, and I throw it away. It's like, oh, shit, you know? So it really depends. Sometimes I write lyrics beforehand, sometimes during the writing is happening, and sometimes after it's done. It really depends on the inspiration, how it hits me.
Yeah, and now you have a second singer with Lucia, and how do you divide the the vocals, the space on the song? You know, is it democracy? It's 50-50 or?
Well, I mean, in the case of Perennial, it actually wasn't. That was all my decision. Like, of course, when Mike is writing, he writes in the way that, you know, anything can go kind of anywhere. He's not really writing so much with vocals in mind. He's more about the actual piece, you know, how the music should flow and everything. And then from there, I kind of take on the task of thinking, okay, well, here goes harsh, here goes clean, here goes maybe a back and forth kind of thing. So definitely with this EP, um, since you know Lucy was new and stuff like that, and you know wanted to break her in, I definitely took on the role of dividing everything up, as I've done in the past as well. But of course, going forward in the future, it will be kind of we will be discussing, oh, you know, because maybe she has a better idea or something like that. But this time, you know, with this EP, Mike and I had a specific vision in mind of how the introduction for the new member should be and all that. But yeah, going forward into the future, it will be more of a democracy.
There's no democracy on a band. There's no democracy. Tell me, but about Lucia and the other band member that came when they
Um,
record.
sorry.
Yeah, when they on the process of recording, you know, all their parts, you know. You give total faith, or you make rehearsals before on streaming like we do now, or you have a stream during the recording and you see and you hear what is recorded on live. How did it?
No. Total freedom. I mean, the only thing that was like, you know, predetermined was where she was gonna sing. But other than that, I said, you know, have fun with it, see what comes up, because I also prefer to be, you know, surprised or, you know, just really anxious to hear, you know, what I don't know is coming. The funny thing is that actually Tom, our new guitarist, he also does backing vocals, as you've heard on the two songs. And the thing is, both times was a surprise for me because there was actually something else there instead. Or at the end of Perennial, for example, where it becomes like that kind of choiry type of passage, that was actually just supposed to be Lucy. But then, you know, towards the end of the process, Mike just really quick was like, ah, you know, it'd be cool. So he told Tom, do some vocals here as well. Then when I got like the final demo, I was like, holy shit, didn't even know that was coming, you know? So yeah, there's total freedom. Yeah, like I said, the only thing predetermined was where it would be sung. But then after that, go ahead. And she definitely blew my mind. Like the piano parts in the middle of Perennial is just something that I love to listen to every single time.
Yeah, the decision to make an EP with two songs. Okay, I can think that maybe there's a new lineup, and you have to see yourself, to what the stuff you can, what the cook that you can, what the meal that you can cook together, how you can make the song. But the record company wasn't surprised to see, oh guys, 2 songs, an EP for 2 songs. Why? Why not an album?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was like I said, it was just supposed to be an introduction. We didn't want to, let's say, spend too much time on creating a release because, like I said, we're a full-length band. So more than an EP, it should actually be called like a mini EP or even a single, just with the B-side. But it just got called EP because I mean our songs aren't exactly short, so lengthwise it is going on towards an EP. But yeah, it was actually the record company's. Well, we were brainstorming together. Our former product manager Marcus, we were brainstorming what we could do with announcing the new members, and he was just like, how about with a song? And I was like, how about with 2? So it just kind of stems from that, and then we weren't sure if it was just going to be like just a digital thing, release it or whatever, but then we actually got greenlit for a 7-inch vinyl, but in the end we had to upgrade to a 12-inch because the songs were too long. It wouldn't fit on a 7-inch. So that's like the only reason why it got a 12-inch. Otherwise it should have been a 7 and done and dusted. But yeah, no, the Napalm was definitely like keen on it and stuff because of course I think it's a great idea, and to be honest I think more bands should do that. Present music when they present a new member directly.
Yeah. So here is it, Perennial, that gets out tomorrow worldwide. Perennial. So the new EP, 12-inch single of Sojourner. I guess that with all this pandemic and all this, the fact that everyone had to be alone in his house, you have new stuff that is, nearly ready, no?
You mean like for a new album?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Mike is always writing, and I know that he and Tom have actually already started sharing ideas and stuff. So we haven't had the conversation, Mike and I, that we're officially started because, of course, we're releasing this CP, and we got the promo cycle and everything going right now. But of course, there is plans for hopefully, not going to guarantee, but hopefully, end of next year, beginning of 2023, we'll have a new album coming out. But right now it's just kind of like progressing slowly, writing, see what works, see what doesn't, and then yeah, we'll see.
I don't know where, but yeah, here is it. It's on your Bandcamp page, and there's some concerts, that are 5 June. You have concert 5 June in Germany, or is it
Oh yeah,
postponed?
no, I think yeah, that's probably me also who hasn't gone into Songkick yet and corrected things. No, we're doing no shows this year.
Yeah.
Just because yeah, we feel 2021's out the window, and at least for us. So we have 2 shows in Spain in March next year. Then we
Yeah.
have Dark Trail Festival in Germany in May, and then that show that you're seeing for 5th of June is Skaldenfest for June next year as well. I just need to go in and change all that. And then there's a few shows on there that I don't even know where they came from because we don't have anything else confirmed. So yeah, but we just did recently sign with Napalm Events, which is Napalm Records in-house agency on a worldwide basis, and we are working actively to see what other shows we can get on, and also maybe a tour as well. So yeah, we are actively working because now we never got to tour Premonitions, and now we actually have Perennial coming out. So when we do start playing shows, we have 2 releases to promote. So it's gonna be
Yeah, and it would be surprised. you recorded everyone in his country these two songs, and new members with Sojourner, and I will be very, very surprised, to come to see you in the first rehearsal preparing the album, because everyone doesn't know really the other,
Well, actually,
yeah, Chu and yeah, but
I mean, I do feel lucky in the sense that I'm in a band with musicians that know their instrument. Of course, you have mistakes on stage sometimes, but you just need to laugh it off and keep going. You can't dwell on mistakes. But to be honest, as a band, we've been quite tight since the beginning. I know there's bands that feel they need to rehearse 50 times before going on tour. I mean, when we toured with Draconian and Harakiri, we had one rehearsal before that tour, and that was a month before. And we just went on tour and just played the shows, and never really have like huge mistakes where like, oh, these dudes don't know what they're doing or we need to start over. No, everybody really, really studies the songs and practices them really hard to a click track and everything like at home and stuff. And then when we're on stage, Ricardo has the click and he's basically kind of, making sure we know where we are. And it's actually, it works really well for us. I don't know. We've never had big issues.
yeah. So yeah, it's okay. So here it is, tomorrow, Perennial, that is going to get out, this EP from Sojourner. What do you expect from this EP?
Well, I mean, I hope people like it. Actually, so far, 99.9% of reactions and stuff have been fantastic from media, press, and fans, and even new people that have discovered us, which is awesome for us, of course. But what we hope from the EP is just to, keep doing what we do. We're always looking to do more and take on more, let's say, on the live front and everything like that. So we just hope that it keeps elevating us as it has, as this several years ago. I think we had like 5 years ago now, maybe six. We started this as like a bedroom project. Nobody knew us, and now it's like signed to one of the big metal labels and stuff, and became a touring band and such, and it has grown quickly. And we just, of course, hope to keep that momentum going and, show people that we are still here. It's another reason why the EP, that was another reason why we wanted to release it, is because obviously shows are dead in the water right now. So, we wanted to give something extra while you wait, for shows to happen again and of course for our next album. So it was a good idea in all senses to have some extra music out.
Yeah, the other thing is that everyone is from another land, and with all these travel restrictions, you can't do live streaming concert.
Exactly. That's definitely not possible for us because, of course, every single person in their own country would have to have the proper equipment, fantastic connection, to the internet and all this kind of stuff. It would just be nearly impossible for Sojourner to have like a live stream show. Yeah, definitely not. So for people to see us live, they're definitely going to have to wait until shows can actually start taking place again.
Yeah, next year. Okay, we have to
Well,
wait
let's
one
hope.
year. Yeah. No, because everyone now is going to make a vaccine. So maybe I hope that it will be all this nightmare will go to an end.
Yeah, I hope so. It's now June here in Sweden, so or, I mean, obviously everywhere it is, but like now is June, and this is when it opens up to the rest of like the population, so to speak, to get vaccinated and stuff. And I'm going as soon as I get my call. So yeah.
Tell me, just I think, Emilio, you're American living in Sweden?
So my heritage is Spanish. So my parents are full Spanish. Just that I grew up in Florida in the States. So I mean, of course, having grown up there and stuff, I consider myself American.
Yeah. Okay. And why did you choose to go to the, your Spanish heritage? So the sun, Florida, the sun, too much sun. You hate the sun now, and you go to the land of the ice.
Precisely. I fucking hate the heat. I really do. I cannot stand it. I lived in lived in Florida my whole life, and then I actually lived in Mallorca in Spain for like 6 years, and that was god awful. Like never again. Um, and yeah, I really thrive in colder climates and all that stuff. And then summer here, is really beautiful and stuff. So we still sometimes reach like 27, 28, but there's still this nice, chill in the air. Whereas in Mallorca, you felt like an ice cream that was just like left in the street. You're just like melting away, terrible, terrible. So no, I do not like the heat whatsoever.
So you won't come to Tunisia because here it's hotter than in Spain.
Well, I mean, if people book us to play, then definitely. I mean, we'll play anywhere. That's fine because I'm only gonna have to be there for a few days. Whereas, in Mallorca, I was like there for 6 years on an island. Too much.
Yeah, never came to Tunisia even on a holiday.
Have I ever been? No, I haven't
Yeah,
made it to that area or anything like that. But it is, of course, I love to travel everywhere and anywhere. So I mean, especially, being a musician, you get that opportunity. So it's like I'll definitely like I'm always happy when we get like booked in a new place and so looking forward to it. Just to sightsee, eat food, drink, local booze, stuff like that. I don't know. Just everything.
yeah, yeah. And is it because you hate the sun and the heat, so that you like to play black metal, doom metal, very depressive music?
Hmm. I've never thought about it that way, but maybe. I mean, it fits the mood, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
maybe that could be it. That could be it. It could be a driving factor in going down this path for sure. Maybe.
Yeah. How you came to the harsh vocal?
So I was young. I was like 12, 13, and I heard Linkin Park.
Yeah.
And the moment I heard Chester's voice, I was like, wow, that's awesome. I loved, when he would scream and stuff. I did do clean vocals like the first few years, but then I abandoned that. And nowadays, definitely nobody wants to hear that. It's terrible. But no, I kept going with the harsh thing, and once I felt I mastered, like Linkin Park style, Korn, Slipknot, and all that stuff, I moved on to Cannibal Corpse, Dimmu Borgir, Dying Fetus, just kind of doing all these different things. Then once I felt I mastered that, went on to other styles. So I like to have a broad range of vocals, and I've just kept that going throughout the years. I think now it's this year it'll be like 18 years that I've been doing harsh vocals, and I don't know, I don't get tired of it. I absolutely love doing it. I think there's actual emotion that can be driven because obviously clean singing, you know that you get emotion there and all these different tones and everything. But I think that you actually get the same with harsh vocals, and that's what I like to try to express and portray with doing these different ranges, so to speak. Highs, lows, mids, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's something that is really, really expressive if you know how to use it properly.
Yeah, and you work that technique of vocals. You
Yeah, I
make it
mean,
evaluate.
yeah, the first couple years, it was terrible. I'd like scream for 20, 25 minutes and I'd taste blood in my mouth, using your throats and stuff. Like it was just terrible. Then one day it just kind of clicked with me to, be able to use the diaphragm and push from there and then, use all these other tools you have to just drive the sound rather than actually creating the sound with it. So using your actual throats and vocal cords and stuff, that's terrible, You never want to try to go down that path and stick to it. And anybody who says different is wrong. Sorry, but they are. You got to use your diaphragm. And I still, if somebody were to ask me, oh, so like, how exactly do you use it? I still wouldn't be able to tell you. I just know that nowadays I can scream for 4 or 5 hours and then talk to you just like I am now. I'm not in pain. I don't get any, I don't lose my voice, nothing. You know, and I know that something's happening down there in the diaphragm because, of course, I feel everything. And I just don't know like the anatomy, so to speak, of like actually executing it. I just do it.
And what makes Emilio Crespo different?
What makes me different? I mean, wow. Any way I answer this might sound presumptuous. But I mean, I think, okay, rather than answer the question about myself, I'll just say in general my belief. I think that anybody who wants to, be successful to some degree or be able to push themselves to get to a certain level and let's say be relatively successful, um, stay true to yourself. Don't try to emulate everything you've heard. Like I said, when I was starting out with vocals, of course you're practicing to your favorite singers and stuff. But after a while, when you've acquired certain, techniques and ranges and all that, then you work on your own style. You try to combine everything you've learned to create your own identity. Um, and then, on a lyrical level as well, I never listen to metal bands when I'm trying to write. Never. It's always like piano and strings music or just being in the woods listening to the sounds of, just nature and stuff. I think basically what I'm trying to say with all this is just stay true to yourself. Don't try to copy paste because that just doesn't work and you'll never have your own identity by doing that. Just try to create your own sound, your own vibe, your own art, and then that should, hopefully, and of course with a bit of luck, always some luck, that should get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's great. Very, very wise. You're not very old to to think like this.
Well, I can be, I'll be honest, I can be a bit of a grump. I am like a 60, 70-year-old man in a young guy's body. Definitely, I could be one grumpy motherfucker sometimes. So don't, yeah, that's probably where the wisdom comes from.
Okay, so let's remember this EP is getting out tomorrow. So 4th June, Perennial new Sojourner, and just make we remember that Sojourner will be on tour next year. We have to wait next year to see you on stage. Yeah, okay. It's isn't it frustrating?
To have to wait? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am severely missing not just being on stage, but also just going to a show, It's like I don't think I've ever thought in my head that I'd say I cannot wait to be surrounded by 400 sweaty ass people. Like, I don't think I've ever wanted that so bad, to be able to just headbang, feel the music, knock some beers back, and just enjoy with friends or like-minded people around you. I am dying for it. I actually, I think it was in November last year. Sweden kind of, Sweden never really had a strict lockdown, so we still had
Yeah.
kind of normal day life happening, but shows, of course, were heavily restricted. So finally, there was one happening in my city, and I decided to go. But it was a sitting down show. You had to sit down at a table and watch from there. And I was just like, this sucks, like not the bands. The bands were great, it was like, but I couldn't. The first band that came on was like full on death black metal. And it was like, I'm sitting down watching this as if it's a TV show. This sucks ass. Like I couldn't. It was so hard to sit through the concert and just think this is what this is the situation we're in. It was terrible. So really looking forward to being able to be in crowds again like back then and just live a show the way you should live it.
Thank you very much, Emilio.
No worries. Thank you for taking the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to people, and of course, when people show support and interest in what you do, it means the world.
Yeah, so I hope you success, and I hope success for this EP. I saw that the YouTube connection, the YouTube views were very high. That's I'd say it's an indicator It's something that doesn't lie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, we can only hope that it keeps going well and stuff, and that people are interested, and we'll keep supplying the tunes.
Yeah. So good luck, and thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you. Cheers. You have a good one. All right.
ZanZanA, l'émission métal.